What's up, guys? Hello, hello, hello. You guys all eat dirt too? You guys are all dirt eaters? I fucking love dirt eaters. Come with me and you'll see. We got some crazy shit today, guys. We got some crazy shit today. How's New York? New York is good. Thank you for asking. I gotta raise the chair. Oh. Stick to History Cup is hilarious. Thank you, bro. Appreciate that. DHS denies French scientist. Oh, come on. Department of Homeland Security denies French scientist barred entry to U.S. over anti-Trump messages. Homeland Security Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin attempted to clarify the Trump administration's decision to deny a French scientist entry into the U.S., saying he was in possession of concealed, quote, confidential information he kept on his electronic device. That's a lie. That's not why he was deported. This is complete lies. Here. Upon his arrival in the U.S., the academic underwent a random inspection during which his computer and phone were allegedly examined. He also faces allegations of sending messages that, quote, showed hatred towards Trump and could be deemed as terrorism. As reported by Agence France Presse, referencing another source close to the situation, all charges against him have since been dismissed, according to the international outlet. Let's see. Disrespecting Trump is terrorism? Yeah. Guys, the whole video I'm making today is about how America, like, I know that I scream and shout that Trump is a fascist, and he is. But we're past that. Trump is a Nazi. Trump is a Nazi. Okay? It doesn't mean that he has to round up the Jews, but he is literally rounding up hundreds and thousands of people without any judicial system, without any court date, just blatantly accusing them of being terrorists because they have like a fucking tattoo when they're from Venezuela, and sending them to a concentration camp. And now we have a French journalist, a French reporter, who has been deported for simply not liking Trump. It's like, it's over, guys. Democracy's dead. It is over. This is not fear-mongering. This is reality. Donald Trump is officially a dictator. And just so you know, the United States has been added to a list of nations that governments warn their citizens about going to. So like Germany and the UK and France, they are warning their citizens, do not go to the United States. It's a fucking dictatorship. It's absolutely bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. Hi, Mr. Bean. Absolutely bonkers. Okay, so we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about this. God damn it. Deported soccer player wrongly accused of gang membership over tattoo, lawyers say. A Venezuelan soccer player who was in the United States awaiting a ruling on his asylum claim was deported to El Salvador under suspicion of being a member of a dangerous gang and what his attorney said was a misinterpretation of a tattoo. Agents who detained Jersey Reyes Barrios, 36, last September said his tattoo was proof of gang membership. There's no such thing as a tattoo being proof of gang membership. Oh, so he was sent to the concentration camp, too. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna... today's video that I'm gonna make is gonna be all about how Trump is officially a dictator. What are you doing, Beans? Bean. Trump is officially a dictator. Okay, let me think. What else do we have? How do I explain this to your friends? If your friends need you to explain this to them, stop being friends with them. You're friends with Nazis. If your friends support getting rid of due process and deporting Venezuelan people without giving them a court date, and proving that they are in fact gang members, your friends are Nazis. You are friends with Nazis. Just stop being friends with them. It's that simple. Okay. Dude, people constantly vote against their interests simply because they vote R down the ballot. My mother had no idea what Trump's policies were. America has the worst education system in any first world nation. It's entirely intentional. They wanted people like your mother to be as stupid as she is so that they can convince her to vote for a fucking fascist. That's the point. You are experiencing the long game right now. When your mother was a child, she was also experiencing the long game. They wanted her to be as uneducated as possible, and now they have their product.
With IP addresses originating in the Ukraine area.
Marching against the Teslas. I mean, how are you running your other businesses?
With great difficulty. Yeah, I mean.
But there's no turning back, you're saying?
I'm just here trying to make government more efficient.
I don't give a shit about this weird ass coverage. Give me the real one.
Shortly after being implicated in
President Trump, this would be impossible. So I'd just like to say, you know, it's only possible with this president.
Maybe we can get it on Twitter. Your dad supports Trump and he's European? What the fuck?
Cars and has done.
Okay. All right, let's make a video. Will people ever call it X? I refuse to. I will always call it Twitter. Let's make a video, guys. Lock in. We're going to make the video live. Chat will be in the video. Just, fucking control yourselves, okay? What is up, ladies, gentlemen, and NBs? Welcome to the latest episode of the Valenti VOD. I am your perfect and humble leader, Chris Valenti, and it looks like Donald Trump is officially a dictator. Fascism has been here for the past 2 months, but now Nazism has fully arrived. We've seen throughout the past 2 months as Donald Trump has eviscerated the United States Constitution. He has weakened American hegemony across the entire planet. And now, finally, he is saying that if you express any sort of anti-Trump sentiment, you are a terrorist. And he's threatening you by throwing you into a concentration camp in El Salvador where you will be forced to participate in slave labor. I wish I was kidding about all of this. I'm not kidding about it. I have the receipts to back it up. Before we do this deep dive, I want to remind you to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. It costs you nothing and it helps me out immensely. If you do want to help the channel financially, there's 3 different ways you could do it. You could buy some of this dope-ass merch down below. You could use the 40% off discount for Ground News Vantage subscription. And you can become a member to the channel for $5. If you're a member, you get early access to these videos and you get access to a members-only show. But without further ado, let's take a fucking deep dive into this shit. So one of the first things I want to cover, guys, is that there was a French researcher who showed up in the United States to do research, and he was detained at the airport, and his phone and laptop were confiscated. Once they were confiscated, ICE dug through it, and they found some anti-Trump sentiments, because apparently he had been texting his other colleagues about how he doesn't like Trump's dismantling and attacks on the health industry and science, and that what he's really doing is anti-science. Well, because of that, he was labeled as having terrorist beliefs and was deported from the nation. Now, this also is coming up after Trump illegally rounded up over 230 people of Venezuelan descent. He completely violated their constitutional rights. They got no due process, no court date. There was no proof that a single one of these Venezuelans were part of a gang, the Tren de Agua gang. No proof whatsoever. Put them on a plane and shipped them off to this concentration camp in El Salvador. While that plane was in the sky, the Department of Justice got a federal judge to sign off and say, you need to turn that plane around and give these men their court date and prove that they are gang members before extraditing them to a third world nation and forcing them into a slave labor camp. Well, Trump disregarded that federal judge to the point where Nayib Bukele, the leader of El Salvador, tweeted out, "Oopsie, too late." That's real. So Donald Trump is violating federal orders. He's not only a fascist, but he's a complete fucking Nazi. This is not an administration. This is a regime. Donald Trump is a dictator. And you need to actually be in a fascist cult in order to still support him. The thing is, about 30% of this nation is genuinely in a fascist cult. There is absolutely nothing that Donald Trump could do that will turn them against him. So let's take a quick deep dive into some of this research here. All right. The academic, whose name will not be revealed, was on an assignment for the National Center for Scientific Research, according to Baptiste. Quote, "This measure was apparently taken by the American authorities because this researcher's phone contained exchanges with colleagues and friends in which he expressed a personal opinion on the Trump administration's research policies," Baptiste told multiple outlets. Quote, "Freedom of opinion, free research, and academic freedom are values that we will continue to proudly uphold." He added, quote, "I will defend the possibility for all French researchers to be faithful to them in compliance with the law." Upon his arrival in the United States, the academic underwent a random inspection during which his computer and phone were allegedly examined. He also faces allegations of sending messages that, quote, "showed hatred towards Trump and could be deemed as terrorism," as reported by Agence France Presse, referencing another source close to the situation. All charges against him have since been dismissed, according to the international outlet. However, he was deported back to France. So we've gotten to the point where they're no longer saying we're going to deport violent criminals, because I'm not sure if you guys know this, but ICE and Tom Homan, the alcoholic thumb, they were given a quota. ICE has to, by hell or high water, deport 1,200 people every single day. That is the order that they were given by Trump. Well, because there are not that many violent, undocumented criminals in the United States, it only took them 4 weeks to deport all of the violent, undocumented criminals. And now it's gotten to the point where they are just randomly selecting people, whether it be Mahmoud Khalil, a green card carrying permanent resident of the United States, whether it be this French researcher, whether it be Venezuelan soccer players, it doesn't matter. They're rounding them up and illegally deporting them to a concentration camp because the Trump regime is full of Nazis and fascists. Now, here's the thing. What I'm saying right now could be, according to them, shown as hatred towards Trump and deemed as terrorism. So, like my previous video told you, where, we're living through the third Red Scare, we're living through a new era of McCarthyism. This is the world that you live in now. If you are a dissident of the Fuhrer, you will be targeted, you will be suppressed, and you could potentially be sent to a fucking forced work camp. So this French scientist is not the only person who has been illegally deported. We've got this here. Deported soccer player wrongly accused of gang membership over tattoo, lawyers say. So I'm not sure if you know this, right? El Salvador lowered its crime rate drastically after Nayib, whatever the fuck, Bukele took over. And the way that they did that was by arresting everybody in the nation who had tattoos on their necks. I'm not kidding. Anybody who had a tattoo on their neck was arrested and thrown into a concentration camp. They had their heads shaved and they were completely dehumanized and thrown into becoming a number, right? Well, one of these people who was rounded up in the United States and sent over there was just a soccer player who was never part of any sort of gang. A Venezuelan soccer player who was in the United States awaiting a ruling on his asylum claim. Oh, let's get this up here. Sorry. Let me zoom in a little bit for you. There we go. One more. Let's do that. A Venezuelan soccer player who was in the United States awaiting a ruling on his asylum claim was deported to El Salvador under suspicion of being a member of a dangerous gang in what his attorney says was a misinterpretation of a tattoo. Agents who detained Jersey Reyes Barrios, 36, last September, said his tattoo was, quote, "proof of gang membership." Here's the thing, guys. There's no such thing as a tattoo that is proof of gang membership. I could even look up what a gang tattoo is and get that tattoo, and guess what? Doesn't make me a member of the gang. But you live in a fascist nation, so this is what's going on now. His attorney, Lynette Tobin, wrote in a sworn statement last week, but the tattoo, which is a crown sitting atop a soccer ball with a rosary and the word Dios, which means God in Spanish, was designed to look like the logo for Reyes Barrios' favorite soccer team, Real Madrid, Tobin says. Reyes Barrios was apparently one of the over 200 Venezuelan migrants swept up in the Trump administration's deportations under the Alien Enemies Act in a deal with El Salvador's president Nayib Bukele to hold the detainees at a notorious prison there. The deportations have kicked off a legal back and forth between the administration and a federal judge, while the government has refused to make public any evidence that the Venezuelans are affiliated with the Tren de Agua. Well, the thing is, there is no evidence. The reason why the government has refused to make any evidence public about these 200 plus Venezuelans being members of the gang is that there is none. They have no evidence. And we know this because they refuse to give these people due process. They refuse to give them a day in court, which you are entitled to, even if you're an undocumented immigrant. All people, all persons within the United States are protected by the U.S. Constitution, regardless of civilian status. And facts do not care about your feelings. So, as you guys have probably seen the pictures, these heinous fucking pictures, shaving their heads. So this prison is called CCOT, right? And it is a forced labor camp, a concentration camp. As you can see, even the guards wear masks because they know that what they're doing is so heinous and villainous that they don't want their own identities to be put out there. Just shaved all of their heads, chained up their legs, hog-tied them, forced them to wear Crocs, which I may say is the worst part of this entire process. And this is where that soccer player is, who has never been part of a Tren de Agua gang. So that's where we are. He's also never been arrested or charged with a crime, but the Department of Homeland Security doesn't care because they are all Nazis and fascists. If your mother or father is a member of ICE, she's a whore and your father's a coward. I mean that, and I wish them the fucking worst. So let's just talk about this prison. What is CCOT? Okay. What to know about CCOT, El Salvador's mega prison for gang members. The crown jewel of El Salvador's aggressive anti-crime strategy, a mega prison where visitation, recreation, and education are not allowed, became the latest tool in U.S. President Donald Trump's crackdown on immigration on Sunday, when hundreds of immigrants facing deportation were transferred there. So let's just cover what CCOT is. Bukele ordered the mega prison built as he began his campaign against El Salvador's gangs in March of 2022. It opened a year later in the town of Tecoluca, about 72 kilometers east of the capital. The facility has 8 sprawling pavilions and can hold up to 40,000 inmates. Each cell can fit 65 to 70 prisoners. So this is not like a prison that where you get your individual cell. This is just a concentration camp. CCOT prisoners do not receive visits. They are never allowed outdoors. That is a violation of human rights, by the way. The prison does not offer workshops or educational programs to prepare them to return to society after their sentences. Occasionally, prisoners who have gained a level of trust from prison officials give motivational talks. Prisoners sit in rows in the corridors outside of their cells for the talks, or are led through exercise regimens under the supervision of guards. Bukele's justice minister has said that those held at CCOT would never return to their communities. The prison's dining halls, break rooms, gym, and board games are for guards. Right. So, on top of that, look at this. The government doesn't regularly update the figure. El Salvador had 110,000 people behind bars. That's more than double the 36,000 inmates that the government reported in 2021. And it's because they're not throwing prisoners in there. They're not throwing gang members or criminals. They're just throwing anybody in there that they possibly can because they're using them as slave labor. Okay? So, why were the immigrants from the United States sent to CCOT? Well, the migrants were deported after Trump's declaration of the Alien Enemies Act of 1798, which has been used only 3 times in U.S. history. And if you don't know this, it was only used during times of war. This is the first time in American history that we have ever given a president the powers of a wartime president during peacetime. So it is absolutely fucking abhorrent. Regardless, this is what they're doing. You now live in a nation where even if you're not an immigrant, even if you're like an American citizen and you are a dissident of this Nazi regime, Elon Musk is the real Führer and Donald Trump is the president. If you are not a fan of this regime, you are at risk and you need to be careful with what you say. And we know this because Donald Trump said this himself. So I'm not sure if you guys know this, but there are all these massive Tesla protests, right? People are protesting. There's vandalism. People are pissed about Tesla and Elon Musk. And Donald Trump posted this on Truth Social, where he said, let me zoom out a little bit. Sorry. There we go. Maybe one more. Nope. I don't know why it won't zoom out, but regardless. He said, I look forward to watching the sick terrorist thugs get a 20-year jail sentences for what they are doing to Elon Musk and Tesla. Perhaps they could serve them in the prisons of El Salvador, which have become so recently famous for such lovely conditions. So, Donald Trump is laughing and joking about sending people to actual concentration camps. And it's gotten to the point where, listen, if you're in, MAGA is a fascist death cult. They celebrate dismantling people's civil rights. They celebrate forcing women to give birth. They celebrate illegally detaining people and shipping them off to concentration camps where their heads are going to be shaved and they're going to be forced to do slave labor, despite the fact that you can't deport American citizens, especially if they're born in the United States. Where are you going to deport them? We love Tesla. But yeah, this is the nation that you live in, guys. However, there is always hope. I don't want to just make you absolutely horrified. I do want to remind you that Bernie Sanders and AOC are doing their anti-oligarchy tour with the #1 troll-oligarch being Elon Musk. And Bernie and AOC are literally gathering crowds of 15 to 20,000 people, bigger crowds than Trump has ever gathered, except during his early 2015 campaign before the 2016 presidency. But there is hope. And even if Bernie doesn't run in 2028, we have to get the message out there. And more people in MAGA are abandoning ship. We've been seeing these Republican town halls across the fucking nation where they're talking about dismantling the 17th Amendment and allowing Trump to run for a third term. And Republican voters are pissed because, listen, they knew you were stupid. And now you're realizing that they think you're stupid. And listen, I also do think MAGA voters are stupid. You have to either be stupid or rich to vote for Donald Trump. But being stupid doesn't mean that you can't change. Now that you've realized that campaign Trump and President Trump are two different people, just give it up. You do not need to stay in a fascist death cult. You're not required to do that. You can come back to reality and you can join the rest of America. Because you cannot call yourself an American and a supporter of Donald Trump. America has a constitution. America has values. America has a judicial system. America has due process. Donald Trump has gotten rid of due process. Donald Trump is running for a third term. He's eliminating the 22nd Amendment. They're attacking the 17th Amendment. They're attacking the First Amendment. They're attacking the Fourth Amendment. You have to choose now whether you are an American or whether you are a Trumpian. You cannot be both, okay? I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry, okay? You are quite literally less than. So, in other news, we've got a little interview with Elon Musk on Fox News where he's fucking crying and bitching and moaning, and I just find it very entertaining, so we're going to watch this together.
Makes electric cars and has done nothing to deserve these evil attacks. You just rescued 2 astronauts that have been in space for 286 days. They were only supposed to be there 8.
Oh, wow. Sean is cupping the nuts while he fucking throats on it now.
You helped the people in North Carolina, Tennessee, California.
No, he didn't. He didn't help anybody in North Carolina or Tennessee or California. That's not true at all. Turn the video up. Copy that, sir. Thank you.
The most creative and innovative car on the market. You created Starlink for communications that's used by hundreds of countries. You're working on helping the blind see and all of these other things. Is it really come down to the basic, you're aligned with President Donald Trump, who also is a friend of mine, and that you have identified well over $100 billion in waste, fraud, abuse that our federal government never should have been spending?
Yeah, like all the money in Social Security that they cut and all the money in Medicaid that they cut and all the money in SNAP benefits that they cut. Hey, MAGA chuds, I know there's a whole bunch of hate watchers here. You know how you've been paying money into Social Security your entire fucking life? You're never going to see that. Elon's going to pocket that cash because he's gotten over $35 billion in government grants. But you're never going to see that fucking money. And you voted for this, dumbass.
Is that what it comes down to?
Yeah, it turns out when you take away people's, what the money they're receiving fraudulently, they get very upset.
Yeah, man, people get upset when you take away their fucking Medicaid. You know, the elderly get upset when you take away their Social Security. Starving Americans get upset when you take away their fucking food stamps, you foreign-born billionaire cock-sucking piece of shit.
And they
laminated face
basically want
cunt.
to kill me because I'm stopping their fraud. And
also, I love how they keep saying this. Just so you know, not one person has been charged with fraud during this entire Trump administration. Sorry, Trump regime. Not one person has been charged with fraud within the federal government. So clearly they're not targeting any fraud or waste or abuse. But regardless, MAGA will eat this shit up with a spoon.
they want to hurt Tesla because we're stopping this terrible waste and corruption in the government. And, well, I guess they're bad people. Bad people will do bad things.
Are you going to cry, Dr. Ketamine? Oh, no. Are you sad that your Tesla stock is plummeting and people are burning your dog shit electric vehicles? Now, again, I want to remind you guys, all of these people who are protesting Tesla, they are potentially going to be deported to an El Salvadorian concentration camp for a 20-year sentence. And Trump is laughing about it. So be very careful if you decide to stand up against this fucking fascist regime, because you will be targeted. You will be targeted. Take it from me. Hi, boys. I know you're watching. Tesla protests and vandalism surge. Trump says vandals should serve 20-year prison sentence in El Salvador. Fucking ridiculous. More than 80 Tesla vehicles were damaged with deep scratches and punctured tires at a dealership in Ontario, Canada. At least 5 Teslas were damaged in Las Vegas after an individual set the cars on fire. 2 Tesla Cybertrucks caught fire in Kansas City. More than a dozen shots were fired at a Tesla dealership. Me laughing about this is getting me on a list, by the way. Just you know, and also mind you, Trump is like, these vandals are gonna get 20 years in prison. Meanwhile, Trump fucking pardoned 1,600 insurrectionists who violently assaulted police officers, Capitol police officers, and then we found out that these pardons extended to their previous crimes, including pedophilia. So, like, we're here to save the kids, brother. You're literally pardoning pedophiles. What are you talking about? What are we talking about? So, listen, that's all I got for you today, guys. MAGA is a fascist death cult. Anybody who still supports Donald Trump is a fascist. There is no way around that. You can choose to leave the cult, or you can choose to consider yourself an enemy of the American people for the rest of time. Your grandchildren will look upon you, find that MAGA hat, and think of you the way that a German does when they find out their grandfather was a fucking Nazi. Come home, MAGA. We're waiting for you. That's all I got for you. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. That costs you nothing. It helps me immensely. If you do want to help the channel financially, you could buy some of this dope-ass merch down below. You can also use the link to Ground News and get yourself a 40% discount on the Vantage subscription. And you can become a member for $5 to get early access to these videos and access to a members-only playlist. People who are here watching live, stay. The live stream will not be ending, but the video will. I'll catch you on the next episode of the Valenti VOD. Have a good one. That was a fucking banger, right? That was a fucking banger of a video, am I right? A banger. A banger. A banger, I say. Let me crank the volume on my mic down a little bit. Now, that's a fucking banger. Absolute fucking banger. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right. Let's make a thumbnail. Let's make a thumbnail. Let's make a thumb. Yeah, my shit smells pretty good too. Baggin, you've been here many a times. You're a pretty dedicated hate watcher. How does it feel to tune into someone you hate every time they go live? That's got to be really fucking pathetic, isn't it? You okay, sweet boy? Let's make a thumbnail. Let's make a thumbnail. My new favorite thing to listen to while I'm driving. Hikes for mental health. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, so we're going to need Hitler's mustache, and we're going to put that on Trump's face. The left seriously can't meme? Yeah, no, bro. We don't know how to meme at all. What is this? Episode 67. Nobody can claim to hate Trump the way I do. My question still stands. I don't know what to do, what we're supposed to do if the protesters are being targeted, if anybody speaking out against him is targeted. Like, what do we do? You support people who cannot be targeted, people who are like high rank and file politicians like AOC or Bernie Sanders. If somebody like him was ever deported, that there would be bodies in the street. Fucking people would be tweaking, right? That's really all you got to do. But yeah, no, you don't have the right to speak against the Fuhrer. If you do that, you will be targeted. You need to be incredibly careful with everything that you say. Hi, sweet boy. I know. Do you realize that? Yes. Oh, that is a psychopathic thing to say, Dick? Oh, well, sorry, dude. Donald Trump is a fascist. There's nothing I can do about that. He's a fascist, and if you speak badly about him, you're going to be thrown into a concentration camp in El Salvador. There we go. That's a great picture. The irony is anti-fascists are so fascist. Oh, I didn't know you were a fucking Nazi. I forgot that I have Nazis who watch me all the time. It's so strange to me. But again, dude, eagles do not question the opinion of fucking worms. What you say means nothing to real adults, such as myself. Forgot I'm Hitler because I see through your delusions. No, you just proudly support fascism, right? Gukonwit, you don't stand against fascism, right? You support it? Flag burning is not yet illegal. Yeah, you're constitutionally protected to burn an American flag. Why can't I edit this? There we go. Burning Teslas because you hate someone's political view is peak fascism, nerd. Yeah, no, I'm not supporting violence in any sort of way, but let me ask you something. If somebody did commit an act of vandalism and they're an American citizen, would you support deporting them to an El Salvadorian concentration camp for 20 years, or would you want them to serve their prison sentence in America where they are a citizen of? Just curious. Just curious. Just curious. I'm just curious. That's all. Oh, thank you, Sun Trionic. My apologies. Didn't mean to attack you like that. Okay, now we gotta get Hitler's hair on him. We already have Hitler's mustache on him. I need Hitler's hair. There we go. And now I need to remove his hair, Trump's hair. There we go. Another troop of your anti-MAGA group has arrived? Huh? What does that even mean? What is the purpose of this live? You are very late, brother. Incredibly late. Luigi, that was you. You just scared yourself, you fucking idiot. Excuse me. Just burped right in your ear. Oh, I gotta do the mustache first. Get me out of the way. Nah. Oh, you're right. It's a different U. How do you get those symbols? Yeah, I don't give a fuck, really. There we go. That'll do. That'll do. Google and then copy and paste. All right, fine. Good. Oh, the font might be different. Yeah. Hold on. So what font is this? TT blue screens, and what font is this? We're good. Okay. All right. There we go. I'm done. I actually do have to go. I have somewhere to be at 6 o'clock. So I'm going to call it there, guys. I'm going to post that video, get it uploaded. It'll be available to the public at 7 o'clock. It'll be available to members as soon as I post it. But, yeah. Call me the Führer. Maybe you're right, actually. Let's do that real quick. I think you're right. Or actually, let's just make it the Führer. I think just the Führer in general is the way to go, right? Okay, let's just make that real quick. Just the Führer. Better. Much better. All right. Now I'm done. Okay. Whew. Hurry up and post this so we can all make fun of you. Wait, have you been here the whole 50 minutes? You hate me and you've been here the whole time? Don't you understand that's, like, incredibly parasocial? Do you at least accept that that is very strange? That's very strange, dude. $15 minutes? No. No, Gukon, just so you know, these streams are saved. There is proof that you've been here the whole time. I remember responding to your comment right when I started. You've been here the entire time, dude. That's really fucking weird. You might actually need, like, mental help. You might have a mental disability to spend this long watching somebody that you dislike is really like a sign of, like, you're mentally stunted. Either that or you have, like, a kink for, like, feeling less than. It's really strange. Go back and check your timestamps. No, I have. Here, let me just scroll up. Scroll up. You were the second person to comment. You commented fucking pedo. And I was live for less than 60 seconds. And then another, oh, you have a real weird thing. You're like obsessed with pedophilia. That's all you leftists are, pedos. Yeah, dude, yeah. No, you should probably be on a list. That's very strange. You have some sort of weird obsession with pedophilia. I pity you. It's very strange. Check his hard drive? Yeah, no, I mean, at least when it comes to these people, every accusation is a fucking confession. So, I don't know why pedophilia is on your mind so often, dude. You should really seek God. Okay. Oh, I'm kissing Sergeant Seawash. Sergeant Seawash deserves a kiss. Projection much? Exactly. You coming in here and accusing everybody of being a pedophile over and over again, that's what it is. It's projection. You have some weird obsession with children's bodies. You need help. It's concerning, dude. Somebody said men that vote left are women. I don't expect much else from the conservative brain. That's quite literally as far as they can extend their logic. Very strange. Does that make you a Nazi? Me? You think I'm a Nazi? Actually? Or are you just like trolling? You have an obsession with Nazis, all of you do? Yeah, I hate Nazis, bro. I fucking hate them. I'm curious, Gook know it. Do you hate Nazis as well? Genuinely curious, having nothing to do with anything that was previously said before. Do you hate Nazis? Pretty solid argument if you ask me. Hell yeah, brother. But I'll ask you again, regardless of everything that I said before this, do you hate Nazis? Yes or no? You use your own argument yourself, weirdo. Why can't you answer this question? I'll guide you through it. I hate Nazis. Do you hate Nazis? Gook know it? I hate Nazis and pedos. Okay, good. Well, that's something we agree on. I do have a question, though. What made you accuse me of being a pedophile? Is it the fact that I don't like Trump? What was it? I'm curious. Jack, permaban Tim. Tim, suck my dick. Your mother's a whore. Permaban him. Permaban him. So, already answered, dumbass? No, you didn't. And regardless, I'm going to ask you again. What about me made you accuse me of being a pedophile? Is it the fact that I don't like Donald Trump? If it's not that, what is it? Big talk from this guy, your mom is a whore. Don't ban this guy. Your mom is a whore. Leave him in here. Somebody else made a comment about being a pedo. No, you were the second commenter. I have proof. So what made you accuse me of being a pedophile out of nowhere with like nothing? Like what about me made you think that? What can you just go through the logic? I'm trying to understand how your smooth brain works. There's no point in denying this, dude. I have the proof. We have the proof. I needed to grab your attention. That's your answer? Is that unironically your answer? Huh. Well, thanks for proving my point that, like, you genuinely need to have a mental disability in order to vote conservative and not be a billionaire. You're mentally stunted. It's probably not your fault. Probably has something to do with the lack of American education. Probably has to do with parenting. Your parents were probably fucked up too, and that's why you have these beliefs. Their parents are probably fucked up. There's nothing I could do with this. Still seriously going on about it too, who's messing with you? This is how I like to end my lives. I just like to fucking make fun of conservatives. It's very emotionally satisfying for me. This lib baby is funny as fuck. See, again, you think I'm a liberal. You know so little about me, and you hate me with such passion. It's genuinely parasocial. You think I'm a liberal. No wonder you fucking hate me. You act like a lib? No, you just think that anybody who doesn't support Donald Trump is a liberal. You have a fundamental misunderstanding of American politics. You don't know basic definitions of words. You probably think Kamala Harris was a communist, Marxist, Leninist, radical leftist, right? Because you don't know what any of those things are. You don't know what communism is. You don't know what fascism is. You don't know what Marxist Leninism is. So you're willing to throw around those accusations. This is just what it's like. Kamala was R-worded. All right, Jack, ban him. 10-piece, your grandfather was a fucking coward and I could beat his ass. Get rid of him. I have no idea where politically my views lie. If you have a functioning brain, you probably are a democratic socialist. What does that mean? It means that you understand 95% of this nation is the workforce, and it means that you want your tax dollars to benefit the workforce and not the 1%. That's all it means. You live in a nation with democracy. Being a democratic socialism means to democratize the workforce. If you have a functioning brain, you are probably a democratic socialist. Oh, you also need to be not a billionaire. If you have a functioning brain and you're not in the 1%, you are probably a democratic socialist. Highly doubt you could beat anybody's ass, my guy. You would run out of breath in 30 seconds. You look real unhealthy. Baggin, do me a favor. Post a video of your physique standing on your tippy toes bouncing, and then you can come back and talk shit. Until you get the courage to at least put a picture of your face in your profile picture, you don't get the right. You don't get the right. I want my taxes to benefit me and my community. You're a democratic socialist. When did being called Democrat become an insult? When the Republican Party was killed by Make America Great Again. That's not the Republican Party. There are Republicans out there like Adam Kinzinger, but these are not Republicans. These are loyalists who want to live in a fucking kingdom where Donald Trump is the Führer. What do you mean you don't want your taxes supporting genocide and imperialism? What are you, some sort of anti-American Marxist-Leninist communist radical leftist? Huh? Huh? I have a question for you, Gook Know It. Do you want your tax dollars to go into programs that make your city better? Yes or no? Excuse me. I want my taxes to benefit taxpayers, not non-taxpayers. Well, that's a completely another question that we can talk about, but I don't want taxes, period. Oh, you're an anarchist? You just don't believe in government. I thought you were a Republican. I thought you were a Trump supporter. So wait. Gook, no, are you a Trump supporter? I'm so fucking confused. I never said I was a Republican. Yeah, but you've been defending Trump this whole time. So I assume that you're, a Trump loyalist. Definitely not an anarchist. Then how do you believe in not funding the government? How is the government supposed to do anything if they don't have funding? That doesn't make any sense to me. I have no problem paying taxes. I just wish taxes made my life better, right? Like, here's the thing. I think that you have a problem with taxes. I'm talking to Gook Know It. I think you have a problem with taxes because your tax dollars just go to like the fucking military industrial complex. It goes to Lockheed Martin, creates a bomb, sold to Israel, and kills a brown kid named Mahmoud, right? If your tax dollars directly went back into the infrastructure of your city and made high-speed transit and made cleaner cities and safer roads and all that shit, then would you still have a problem paying taxes? Because I wouldn't. I would have no problem paying taxes if I could see them making my life better, making my city better. Agreed? Okay, finally, we found some fucking common ground. So, if you want your tax, but that's not where our tax dollars are going, I agree. Right now, our tax dollars primarily, like 60 to 70% of them are going to the military industrial complex, yes. But that's why I'm a democratic socialist. I want my tax dollars to go into policies that boost my infrastructure, create social safety nets, take care of the most marginalized people, provide free college, free healthcare, all that shit. We love Tesla. Because, just so you know, Trump's tax policy is trickle-down economics. He wants to lower the taxes for the wealthiest people in the nation because he believes, falsely, that if they have to spend less money in taxes, they can spend more money in innovation. And then when they're making more money, money will trickle down economics, into the working class. Now, statistically, this doesn't work. It's been tried time and time again for a century. Trickle-down economics doesn't work. Even Republicans understand that. So, like, seemingly, you don't even support Donald Trump at all. I don't understand this. It's good that we can agree on a few things. Pedos and Nazis are bad, and taxes are misused. Yeah. Yeah. But seemingly, dude, you don't even support Trump's tax policy. Seemingly. Correct me if I'm wrong. I got 2 minutes and then I gotta go. Oh, me and Camilla broke up like a year and a half ago, brother. Shit, I'm sorry. I'm not. I'm fucking not. I have a formal education in politics. I got a major in history with a minor in political science. Considering he's the only candidate willing to abolish income tax, that's what... You think Trump wants to abolish income tax? Oh my God. I pity you, dude. I don't know how young you are, but you probably are young, dude. Do you think Trump is going to put no tax on tips, too? And no tax on overtime? Oh, no. Here's the thing, dude. That would be great. I would agree with you. That would be great. But he's not doing that. He's not doing that. That would be fucking great, but he's not doing it. Brother, let me ask you one thing. Goknu, I'm going to wait to see what your next thing that you say is, and then I'm going to end it here because I do have to go. All right, Goknu. You saw and you've seen that Trump has signed hundreds of executive orders that directly violate the Constitution to the point where he's been sued by DOJ federal judges, right? You've seen that Trump is willing to sign executive orders no matter what. Why didn't he sign an executive order banning tax on tips, banning tax on overtime, and banning income tax? If you believe he's going to do all of these things, and you've seen him sign executive order after executive order that are being shut down by the courts, why hasn't he even tried to do those things that you're saying? Anything? Yeah, Trump is willing to circumvent the law at every single fucking turn, and yet he won't sign an executive order about grocery prices, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, income tax. Like, he's not doing any of this, and that doesn't concern you? Really? Couldn't be me. Could not be me. Gorilla Man is getting mad. I like that, Gorilla Man. Do you have any long sleeve merch that's not a hoodie? I do not. Fair point. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, Gukowit. Because the thing is, like Waffle said, checks and balances, it'd be a whole framework. I'm not saying that he would be successful in doing it. I'm saying he would at least try. Because Trump already attempted to ban birthright citizenship. He was unsuccessful. The federal court shot him down. He's been sued by 9 DOJ judges, right? So we know that he's willing to attempt to get rid of shit that he doesn't have the power to. So why wouldn't he at least try this? I think the reason is there. He doesn't want to do those things because that would directly affect the donor's profit margins, right? But again, I don't know how young, I'm going to end it here, guys. I don't know how young a lot of these MAGA guys in here are. I know a lot of them are just like fucking 60-year-old hate watchers. But like, does somebody like Gook know it? Just so you understand, I used to be racist, transphobic, anti-Semitic. I was a piece of shit. I used to watch Steven Crowder and Charlie Kirk and Ben Shapiro. And I got saved because I saw that I was living in a state of pure hatred and fear. And, you know, I'm happier for it. You do not need to stay all angry all the time. You don't need to fucking be racist and transphobic and anti-Semitic, and you don't need to do that stuff, bro. It doesn't make you a man. Being a man is loving your neighbor. Being a man is taking care of your family. Being a man is doing what's needed, not what you want. Doing what you need to do. You can still be saved. I don't know how young you are, but you can come home. The OAL is waiting for you. The only Americans left. You don't need to stand with Trump. Anyway, I'm calling it here, folks. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. That helps me out immensely. It costs you nothing. If you do want to help me out financially, you could buy some of this dope-ass merch down below. You can get the 40% off discount on Ground News, and you can become a member for $5, which will give you early access to my videos and access to a members-only playlist. All right? Thank you. Although, also, I disagree with the judge other than SCOTUS interviewing with the... I disagree with the judge other than SCOTUS interview... Okay, so you disagree with the Constitution. You don't... Again, I don't know how young you are, but you seemingly do not understand due process. It is not up to the Supreme Court to rule that what Donald Trump is doing about birthright citizenship is illegal. That's up to the DOJ. Granted, you're probably like 15 or 16. You sound like I did when I was 15. Okay? Anyway... Have a good one, folks.